Okay, welcome everybody to the AIVC workshop. It's the April workshop of AIVC consisting of 4 weekly webinars. It's organized in collaboration with AIVC Annex 86, and you may find more information about the other webinars on the website, including the recordings and the slides. Today, we are keeping the third of the 4 webinars. It's the first of 2 webinars related to energy efficient IAQ management in relation to big data and IoT. I am myself Marc Delghust. I am a postdoctoral assistant at Ghent University, and I am co-leading subtask 5 of Annex 86 together with Benjamin Hanoun, who is one of the speakers today and who will also chair the next webinar. So a few words about Annex 86. It's an annex of the International Energy Agency's Energy and Buildings and Communities program. It has been approved last summer, and we are now in the first, let's say not the first operational year, but we are now in the preparatory year of the annex and hoping to start the operational phase next summer. So the annex has as goal to provide a framework to improve energy efficiency of IAQ management. And the focus is on residential buildings, both new buildings and also existing buildings. The annex consists of a big group of people. For the moment, already 42 institutes from across 24 countries have expressed their interest and willingness to participate in the annex. But very important, we are still open to new partners. And it's not only research institutes, but also private companies. So if you have any interest to join us, let us know, get in touch with us, and you are certainly welcome. Not only as a research institute, but also as, for example, private company. The annex is structured in 6 different subtasks. The 2 first subtasks focus on the underlying methodologies and knowledge, mainly metrics and rating methods, which was a topic of the previous webinar, and source and exposure characterization. The subtask 3 and subtask 4 focus on applications to technology, more specifically smart materials and smart ventilation systems. And then the 5th subtask is focusing on new opportunities from IoT and big data, which might support the previous 4 subtasks. Then there is also a 6th subtask, which is actually more managerial subtask, focusing on dissemination and project management. So the webinar of today fits within the context of subtask 5, focusing on IoT and big data. So a few words now about subtask 5. The subtask 5 focuses on the use and potential of cloud data and IoT connected device to support smartness of, for example, ventilation system, monitoring, etc., but also to support improved knowledge and data sets for example, research, but also for application, innovation, products, etc. So that means that it focuses on quite different kinds of applications, which might be real-time or delay, online, offline, and we are also looking at potential new business cases. The challenges are of course quite broad, and they reach from, of course, uncertainty and quality of data, because it's not about laboratory experiments, it's more about data from big scale IoT devices in real life, uncontrolled environments, large scale, often cheaper, let's say, sensors, but also GDPR and IT issues, etc. So in the context of this subtask 5, we have today the first of 2 webinars, where the 3 speakers will look at it from the perspective more of academics. While actually next week we have the last subtask of this April workshop, which will be held actually with speakers from industry. So now today we have 3 eminent speakers who will speak one after the other. First of all, we have Wouter Boosboom. He's a senior business consultant and researcher at TNO, with an expertise in built environment, ventilation, and IAQ. He's also the national representative for AIVC. This presentation will focus on efficient use and analysis of large-scale measurement data, linked also to the use of that to build models also in relation to BIM models. The second speaker will be Benjamin Hanoun, who is one of the co-leads together with me of subtask 5. He's a CNRS researcher at University of Lille in France, and also director of the PC2A laboratory. His background is he's an expert in chemical characterization of the indoor environments, doing a lot of measurements both in laboratory but also in the field, including by means of all kinds of different sensors, including also a citizen science project. And that will be what he will be talking about, the collection of large-scale indoor air quality data using different kinds of sensors in that kind of situations. And our third speaker, Pieter Pauwels, he's an associate professor at Ghent University, also in the Netherlands. His background is a little bit different. He has a special interest also in computer science and software development and focuses more on linked data. So linked data, also semantic web technologies, etc., which is of course a crucial element within IoT. And he will give a presentation more focused on the coupling of the data serving future data analysis in the framework of, for example, IAQ. The webinar of today is also supported by Maria Kapsalaki and Valérie Leprins, who are responsible for setting this up and who will also monitor the Q&A. And I really want to thank them for the whole effort of setting this up. Now, the structure for now will be that I will wrap up this introduction with a few getaway messages about the Q&As. And we will have three presentations by Wouter, Benjamin, and Pieter, each talking for approximately 20 minutes. During those 20 minutes, you can already ask questions or post questions using not the chat, but the Q&A box, and sending them to all panelists. We will collect all those questions during the presentations. And after the three presentations, just after approximately 1 hour, we will go through a selection of questions and give them to the speakers. So that means that, and that's very important, if you want to ask the questions, do it already during the presentation, but don't do it in the chat box, do it in the Q&A box. And also, that's very important, don't send them to one specific panelist, but send them to all panelists. That allows for us to collect all the questions together, filter them, sort them, and prepare them for the Q&A after all presentation. So during the presentations, already send your questions through the Q&A box towards all panelists. Important notes, two small ones. This presentation, or the whole webinar actually, is being recorded, and within a few days it will be made available online together with the slides. After the end of the presentation, you will also get a small pop-up asking you to fill in a few questions and about survey, a post-evaluation, and we would like you to do so because it's very important for us to get some feedback to be able to improve the webinars in the future. So that's it for the introduction, and I will now give the floor to our first speaker, Wouter Borsboom.